2 years ago, I was waking up early, going to site, doing the same shit every week. Work all day, get paid, blow it on the weekend, and repeat. Fast forward to now, 2 years on. I wake up wherever I want, work from anywhere. And by 23, I built a 6-figure a month income. And the truth is, none of that came from having a plan. I'm still winging it to this day. But it did all start when I got kicked out of home at 19. A lot of you see the life that I'm living now. The travel, the money, what I'm able to do for my family, but it definitely didn't start this way. And I've got a lot of shit from my past that I'm definitely not proud of, but that did shape the person I've become and pushed me to get to where I am now. Now, at the age of 17, I dropped out of school to become a tradie, a carpentry apprentice, and I was doing that for 3.5, almost 4 years. And for pretty much that whole time period, my life looked the exact same. Walk down the driveway at the same time in the morning, before dawn, jump in my car, go to work all week, earn just an alright income, enough to have a bit of fun on the weekend, blow all that on the weekend, and then just rinse and repeat that week after week, year after year it turned out to be. I had absolutely no direction in my life, just going through the motions, just coasting really. But deep down, I always had this sort of fear around not making the most of my 20s. I'd see videos all the time of older people wishing they did more when they were younger. And I just had this vision of me laying on my deathbed regretting not living my life to the fullest in my younger years. And week after week, month after month, year after year, time was just passing by, and I knew I'd look back one day at 30 or 40 if I didn't have fun and regret it. So with the little spare time I did have, that's what I tried to do. Make the most of my 20s. Going out drinking, clubbing, doing all the stuff that comes with that, not getting home till 5 or 6 a.m. Not sleeping, bendering, making the most of my 20s. The trap so many people fall into. Now, I was about 2 years into my carpentry apprenticeship. I was about to turn 19. And honestly, from about the age of 15 or 16, I'd been going out drinking and going pretty hard. So I'd been like a good 3 or 4 years. I'd just gone past New Year's. I'd been to a festival. I hadn't really slept for like 3 or 4 days. It was peak COVID. I ended up getting COVID at that festival. And basically I had another week before I got back to work. For the year or two prior, I'd pretty much disrespected and disregarded anything my parents would say. I'd do what I'd want. I had 2 younger siblings who looked up to me, and I wasn't setting a good example at all. But for me, like I didn't care. I didn't care what my family thought. I didn't care about rules or expectations or anything set for me. I was just selfish. I just wanted to do what I wanted to do. And at the time I didn't understand that having COVID and going out, that directly affects them because his dad can't work, the family doesn't have an income. And I'd been warned numerous times that if the disrespect keeps happening, you will be kicked out of the house. You're 19, you're earning your own income. We don't want to do this, but you'll force our hand. Basically, push came to shove, I was a piece of shit. And once again, disrespected what they said and did what I wanted. I had a couple weeks to pack up my shit and leave, and by my 19th birthday, I was basically homeless. And I remember my exact thought process when they said that I had to leave. They're just empty words. They wouldn't kick me out. Why would they do that to me? They love me. But they did stick to their word, which is completely understandable. And I remember sort of packing my shit up, walking down the driveway and realizing the bridge that I'd burnt. And then and only then I really began to understood the strain and the stress that I'd put on the family because of my selfishness. The whole time I never thought I was in the wrong. This is what people do when they're young. But then even after getting kicked out, nothing did really change. I wasn't on talking terms with my parents really, because I was so pissed off. I couldn't believe they did it. They obviously weren't too happy with me, and I just fell back into the same habits. Back to work, back drinking, back partying, back not giving a fuck really. Now I was fortunate enough for my grandma and grandfather to take me in, so I did have a place to stay. But then something sort of drastic happened in the family. My little brother, who was 14 years old at the time, found out he was going to be a dad. Because my younger siblings, who were 14 and 9, didn't have social media, I didn't have any contact with them for 3 or 6 months. And I remember hearing that news and just that really being the thing for me that, Coop, you're 20, you're 21 now. You've got to pull your head in. And it's not that I felt pressure. I just sort of understood more and matured more. And the thoughts going through my head were no longer like, I know I probably shouldn't be doing this. It's not doing me any good for my future. Going out, drinking, doing drugs, having fun. But it really wasn't getting me anywhere, but I wasn't for a very long time able to actually act on that and change. And as bad as it sort of sounds for something like that to happen for me to pull my head in, getting kicked out, being disrespectful, being selfish, as much as I look back and I cringe and I hate it, and that I probably wasn't the big brother that I needed to be for my brother growing up, it sort of shaped everything that I've done since. Now that takes us to about 2022. I was 20 years old and I did improve. I stopped going out. I was still living with my grandparents, and I really tried to just become a better person. But 7, 8, 9 months passed and I really hadn't done anything. I just, on the weekend, stayed in my room, maybe seeing my family. A lot better than what I was, but I'd sort of lost the person that I was at the same time in doing that. I'm a fun person. I like having fun. I like having a joke. And at the start of 2024 was when my girlfriend, who I'd been with for 3 years at the time, dumped me. Basically because I'd lost who I am, but I tried to change who I was. But once again, I was like a piece of shit. And that was the moment when stuff really started to click into gear for me. I changed the person I was. I stopped going out drinking, spent more time with family and prioritized that. But I realized the biggest problem in my life was that job that I was working. That job that I felt I needed an escape from, it was taking up so much of my time, so I'll go and drink and party. Oh no, that's not good, that's not getting me anywhere. But I still don't like this job that I'm doing most of the time, and now I'm not doing a lot with my weekends, and I sort of fell into a state of depression. And I'm grateful that this sort of happened at the age of 21, because a lot of guys go through this for their whole life. And you can see how people end up being alcoholics. People burn bridges with people they love. But getting dumped and sort of having the whole world in front of me and having this newfound realization and this new hunger to be able to give back to my family, to be able to do more stuff for my brother, not just be there, but actually do stuff, have an impact. And realizing that nothing would change if I didn't change myself, if I really didn't start taking risks and start building a life that I wanted to live. And as the story goes, you guys have sort of seen the rest of it. Around that time was when I came across making money online. The skepticism was there. I even sort of went against what my parents believed, my grandparents believed. And I ended up investing a fair bit of money into sales training, to learn sales, to build that skill, because I saw the life that it could sort of provide, not just for myself, but also with time, the money that it could make, putting me in a position to be able to give back to my family. And that's when I really understood the depth of the phrase, you have to be selfish sometimes to be selfless later. You know, for 4 or 5 years, I was completely selfish, living the life that I wanted to live. And then I became a bit less selfless. I cut off things that I usually would have done, spent more time with family, but that didn't really work out either, because I was still living this miserable average life. Knowing that I was meant for more, I wanted to be doing more, I was never content. And those 3 months after investing in myself, learning a new skill, putting my back against the wall really, that selfishness to say, no, I can't go out for dinner tonight. I'm not going to do this on the weekend. I'm going to work. I'm going to learn the skill. I'm going to build the skill, has epitomized the selflessness later. And I speak to people every day who are in a situation that they don't like, they hate even. They don't like the person they are. They don't like the situation they're in. And the biggest thing that I've taken away from my whole journey, my whole experience, is that everything happens for a reason. If you look back on the last 4 or 5 years in your life, there's definitely stuff you fucked up, stuff you regret, but that should be fuel or fire, even more, to build a life that you want, to be able to give back to everyone that you love. From April 2022 to April 2024, I got kicked out of home, continued drinking and partying, doing dumb shit, to then cutting all that out, being depressed, losing loved ones, to from 2024 to 2026, getting my shit together, learning a high income skill, being able to replace my income, hit $10,000 a month, begin traveling the world, making the most of my 20s actually this time, hitting 20K in a month, 30K in a month, 50K in a month, to just recently $100,000 in a month. And that's all cool and great and all for me. I'm proud of the life that I've built. I can look back to when I was 19 and know now that I'm truly epitomizing that term of make the most of your 20s, but also I'm able to give back to my family. After everything, we've been able to go on trips together. I've been able to take my little niece Evie away on her first ever holiday and watch my brother, her dad, be able to make those memories. Something that he will never forget in his life ever, his first holiday away. And I was able to do that for them. So I guess the message I want you to take away from this is some people feel like they're not worthy or they don't deserve it, so they don't even try it. But what's really the alternative? To feel down on yourself all the time, to be a piece of shit and be not as much of a piece of shit anymore. And that's just speaking from experience, because I tried that. I was a piece of shit and I was still a piece of shit, just not as bad as a piece of shit. Realizing that you need to change is one thing, but actually acting on that is a whole nother story. All the things that you look back on and you regret or you wish you could have done differently, you can't change that. What you can do is change your future. That's in your control. That's in your hands. Whether it's learning a skill like sales like I did, whether it's fucking anything, that's completely in your control. And people need to have a level of self-accountability, almost that complete delusion. If I fail, if I don't step up, that's me failing my family. That's the stuff I used to tell myself. Now I don't want this to come across as some big sob story. This is just the truth of my whole journey. A lot of you might see the travel, the money, all the stuff I've done over the last 2 years, and it's great. My mission always is to inspire and share an open, honest transformation and journey. And that's really where it all started, from 15 or 16 years old, having my first beer, almost falling in love with that idea of making the most of your 20s, but really you're wasting your 20s, because that's a trap that so many people fall into. To, you know, almost burning those bridges, to then trying to fix yourself, but really it's not fixing your situation, to then really taking those leaps and bounds and just saying like, fuck it, fuck what other people think. Do it for those that you hold close to you. And yeah, that's pretty much it for you guys. That is the whole story. I just wanted to jump on and share that whole story. Looking back after just hitting my first 6-figure month to where I was 4 years ago at 19 to now at 23, it's pretty crazy. And if I can just inspire 3 of you, 2 of you, 1 of you to take action on your goals, take risk while you're young, man, that would be my purpose here served. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one.